Hi, Ricardo, and thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's an absolute pleasure for me too.
Yes, I think it's fascinating what your winery and your team is doing. And I think you have very modern wines, and they are all over Spain, and they're very popular in Spain. You can find them in restaurants, in bars, in shops. So please tell us more about your winery.
Well, we are a family business, so my family has been related to wine and vineyards for generations. I'm from La Rioja, a very small village in Rioja Alta called Badaran, and so you have to think that here in Rioja we've been related to wine as a region even before the Romans arrived. So it's part of our blood. So our company Vintae, as it is today, it was founded first by my father with our first winery, Hacienda López de Haro. And then when my brother and we joined the company, my father, about 15 years ago, he had a health issue. He's okay. But what happened is that it was forced the generational change. So my brother and we started to manage the company when I was just 23. So I think that Vintae, it's how Vintae is today. It's also part of our history. That somehow we were very young to be in charge of the company in a time of crisis, because it was 2008, which, as you might remember, it was a difficult times for the economy, in particular in Spain. And so since then we've been having fun traveling to several other regions all over Spain, trying to look for this hidden treasure of old vineyards all around in Ribera del Duero, Toro, Navarra, and the small praise we have all over the rest. And this is a little bit summary of what we are, a family business that has expanded to several other regions apart from Rioja, and trying to be an example of what is the modern Spanish wine industry.
Yes, because you mentioned it's a family business, so it must be very fun to work with your family.
Well, it's always challenging to
Yes.
work in a family business, but in our case, we have very good relationship. We are not, a family with too many cousins, something like this. So at the end is my parents, my brother, my sister, and I. But I'm the general manager, so the hierarchy is clear. And we are young. We have hopefully, long, a lot of years in front of us to keep dreaming. And it's a fun company to work at.
Yeah, and you can also see that in the labels that are very modern labels.
Mhm.
How did you decide to put? Is it your family, the ones of the Matsu collection?
Well, actually, Matsu was my brother idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to think that when my brother and we took over the company, the Spanish wine scene on that time was very different today to what we have today. So we wanted to focus much more in the younger generations, trying to do, trying to make it more attractive, the wine. So on that time, wine was too much technical, very classical. It seemed that you need to be a lawyer to
Yes.
drink, so we wanted to change that, and we wanted to show that the wine is friendship, wine is, it's fun. And so labels is just one of the examples of all the decisions that we took, the way of communicating the wine, the style of wine that we were doing, to try to connect to these new generations of people.
And I think it's working because you can find your wines everywhere. So I think it's working very well.
Yeah, thankfully, Vintae has been very successful in the last 20 years. And and now Vintae, you can find in, not just in many places in Spain, so in more than 70 countries internationally. So, it's working, and Spain has changed a lot. So, luckily, we are not the only one now with this philosophy. So now many other wineries are in that, not that philosophy of trying to make the, wine more accessible to people. And now we are connecting to new generations, which is something that we are very happy with, because this is the future.
Yeah.
So we are happy to have been pioneers in that move.
So that's also why you care about the environment and you're doing vegan wines.
Mhm. Well, we as a winery, we live the climate change. So this is something that we don't. So we just have to look back 30 years ago and see what what farming was to what is going today. So everything that we can do, we are doing. Okay, I think that I always say that the wine industry must be the leader in the agriculture industry. Okay, because at the end we are able to sell value, to show from a particular vineyard, to be able to label this wine and say, okay, this is from a special place, and and the cost is very high, so the value is very high. So I think that we have to be pioneers on that move of environmental friendly, not just, and we are trying to explain that it's not just organic. I think it has to be sustainability
Yes.
a whole. Okay, so and yeah, so we are taking a lot of initiatives on that way. So we have one of the only 25 wineries which are certified wineries for climate protection. Okay, we in all our wineries right now, we are using some of them 100% renewable energy, some others just a little bit that is not renewable, but we are working on that direction. Most of our vineyards are already organic. We are working in having lighter packaging, so it means lighter bottles.
The labels.
Yeah, the label, everything. So now I'm a bit oxidated with my English, sorry.
Yeah.
And so we're trying all the packaging to be the most environmentally friendly as possible. And I think this is something, it's a way that has no return. So it's something that we have to go in that direction as a sector, not just us, that we all have to do together to try to be, in front of other industries and show the importance of the sustainability.
And you also mentioned that you have different wineries around Spain. So how did this idea come?
Well, I mean, actually, yesterday I was having this conversation too. To be honest, it was because we wanted to discover new regions. So it was not a business decision. So we just wanted to, we were from La Rioja. We are from La Rioja, but we wanted to have adventure in other regions. So why don't we go to Ribera del Duero? Why don't we go to Toro? So we started to expand. We even started a project in the south of Chile,
Yeah.
okay? So in the other side of the ocean,
Yeah.
that project stopped. And actually, since then, that was 2017, we decided to, so I think that as Vintae, we've made a trip, so we've traveled, and now we are a little bit going back to our roots. So now we are not expanding, but focusing in our main regions. Okay, so now it's our target right now to try to focus in where we are and try to do best where we are. But yeah, so the reason why was because we wanted to, I think that is marvelous to say, okay, why don't we, travel somewhere else and discover the regions and try to make the best of it? And, that's a lot of fun. But right now, in our moment right now, it's about rediscovering ourselves in the regions where we are right now.
So that's also why you are doing a festival in La Rioja.
Well,
Okay.
that is because the truth is that that festival was born because I didn't study in Rioja, so I studied in Barcelona. Then I moved to the US, and after several years living outside, when I came back to Rioja, I said, well, I want my friends to discover Rioja. So then I started during my birthday. So in the beginning, it was my birthday party. Okay, I started to invite friends from all over. And first year we were 50, second year we were 80, third year we were 100. And well, this year it's going to be the number, I think, 17.
Okay.
And now we are about 500. So it grew, and now it's been Taiwan Fest. Actually, it's not anymore during my birthday. So it's my birthday is 10th of October. This year is October the 1st. And but the idea is to show, first of all, our region, San Vicente, which is our where Hacienda Lopedaro is set. And Also, it's a festival that we want to show the people is that, wine can be, sometimes in Spain, I know that in different countries it's different, but in Spain, when you go out for a party, it's always about gin tonics, rum and coke, at least it was before, and beer. And we can party with wine. Wine is, something to, we always say that this party is for friendship, and wine, and it's trying to connect the two things together and enjoy a beautiful weekend in the harvest time. That is the most beautiful time to come to Rioja.
And do you also present new products?
No, not really. It's not focused professionally. So
Yeah.
it's more, it's just a weekend to have fun, to meet old and new friends, and to enjoy a glass of wine, seeing the sunset in the marvelous village of San Vicente. It's not about business.
And are you also going to do this festival maybe in Galicia or in Toro on la Ribera del Duero?
Not really. So this, I think that, this is where we are. This is nuestra tierra, okay, and I think that this is where we stand. No, I don't think, we might be able in the future. Who knows, that we can organize small events to maybe show the wines in different regions. But as a party as it is, this, I think that we will stick in Rioja.
Yes. And are you also working in new regions in Spain, or in Spain are you also moving to France maybe, or to Italy?
Not right now. As I told you, not right now. We are in actually focusing in where we are and not trying to expand too much. But as we always say, the day that we will stop dreaming, we will not be Vintae anymore. So who knows? We're always, with an eye and checking opportunities, and we are always looking for opportunities. So who knows? But nothing is sure.
Yes. Well, it looks like you're having a lot of fun making the wines. And
Mhm.
do you have any fun story to tell?
Wow. you
Because
know,
if it's family business and then you also engage
well,
regions.
there are always, for my mind come lots of fun stories of travels. I mean, I've had, like beautiful stories abroad, like for example, I've been traveling a lot to places like Japan. Japan is, for me, is like the most different country in the world. And for example, I've been having tastings, wine tasting, that everyone
I,
was like dressing with the kimonos and very serious, and ended up being crazy party, people falling over, and it was like because sometimes that Asian people, they don't handle alcohol as we do. So having a few glasses of wine, they can be a little bit drunk. So
yeah.
anecdotes like that, and anecdotes also in the vineyard. So here, since days that we've been with the tractor, and once we were with no no rooming at all, no connection, no mobile connection, and in a very far away vineyard, that the tractor stopped, and we had no way to connect with someone to come back, and trying to find a way to talk to somebody to come and pick us up. There are always lots of stories, but I think that the best is for everyone who listens us, is to come to visit us here, because it's always memories that come over.
Yes. And do you have any tips for wine lovers, or how to know if how to drink wine, or how to know if a wine is good, or
I
because there
think that I think my view in that is that we don't have to, I think that we have to take it less seriously. Sometimes, what is the best food pairing with this? Take it easy. I mean, experiment, and don't let anyone to tell you what you like and what you don't like. I think that the best is wine is diversity is wine. It's not like, I don't think that there is a better wine or a worse wine for everyone. I mean, of course, has better and worse, but I mean, like, I think that everyone should experiment itself, and and maybe I like something, maybe you like something else, And I think that we have to break all the myth that, like white wine has to be with fish and red wine with meat, and and Rioja and Ribera is better than other regions. Wine, I mean, might be my preference, but I think that everyone should experience themselves. And I think that wine can be at the same time for someone who just want to have fun, just take it easy, don't think. And then if you want, which is my case, I'm a wine lover, okay? I think that everyone should take a path of discovery. And little by little, okay, if you want to discover Rioja, okay, so start to try Rioja wines, maybe travel and visit us,
Yeah.
the Rioja region. But then visit France or try France and discover France and then discover Italy and then discover, the world is huge. Wine is a never ending learning story. So what I would recommend is just follow your path, drink and enjoy wine with friends, with your couple, or by yourself, and just take your own path.
And which is your favorite wine?
That is a complicated
Yes.
question, because I think that wine is like music. It's like you don't listen the same music on a Saturday evening that on a Sunday morning, or Monday when you are the way to your work. So I always change. Right now, of our wines, I'm particularly in love with El Pacto, which is it's a new collection that we just released. And apart from that, now I'm discovering a lot all vintages of white Riojas. This is something that I love. I love champagne, and I keep discovering more and more. I love, for example, Right Bank Bordeaux. Recently, I was en premiere, and I've been able to taste Chateau Consillan 1987. It's a dream come true, things like this. So yeah, well, it's complicated because I cannot say I have a favorite wine. I love to travel and to taste, and but I mentioned a few things that I love particularly.
So you have a big wine cellar.
Well, yes, I do. And it's growing and growing and growing and growing.
And then you enjoy it at your birthday party.
Yeah, yeah. My birthday party, I open lots and lots and lots of bottles, as it should be.
And do you also think that the wine, if a wine is good or not by the color or by the cork or by reading the label?
No, I
No.
think that you have to experiment. I think that there is no trick on that. I think that I think that I explained very very good. Is what is good and bad. I
Yeah.
think it's a perfect perception of someone. And what is marvelous of wine is that wine is full of stories. Behind every label, behind every bottle, there is a story behind. It's someone with passion that has made a bottle of wine, and the great thing is to discover that, and then once you discover, you can judge and say, okay, I like this or I don't like. But I think that you should not think by the label or the region or whatever think is good or bad. I think that you have to experiment and then create your own judgment.
Yes. Well, Ricardo, thank you very much for your time and your tips. That's been very
Okay.
fun.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you. And I wish you a nice weekend ahead.
Okay, great. Fantastic to talk to you, and hope to see you soon here in
Yes.
Roma, whenever you want.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Ciao.